Hey y'all, Ramdino here. This will not be my normal update for the week. Hopefully that will be coming out later, but I did want to get out some information about the attack and the tragedy that occurred this weekend on the Appalachian Trail and get out as much information and support for the thru-hiker community as I possibly could. It's with great sorrow that I learned here within the past hour that the attack that occurred this weekend has resulted in the death of one of the persons that was attacked. The Channel 10 news station in Roanoke, Virginia is reporting that the male individual that was attacked has died of his injuries. This happened overnight between May 10th and 11th on the north side of Grayson Highlands Park there in Wythe County. The Wythe County Sheriff Keith Dunnigan had confirmed last night that two people were assaulted overnight on the Appalachian Trail in Virginia, and a female and male hiker, and no info was available about their names at this time, and there was no info available if they were thru hikers or not, although I have seen some other news organizations that say they were thru hikers. Dunnigan says that one male was assaulted in Wythe County and a female was assaulted also in Wythe County, and she was found in Smith County after making her way wounded and bleeding 6 miles into that neighboring county, where she was found by two hikers who got her help. Sheriff Dunnigan indicated that she was cut up pretty badly. Those are his words, and he said she's expected to survive. At that time, when he was interviewed, he indicated that the condition of the male hiker was not being released at that time. And since then, as of this morning, or actually just a few hours ago, I've learned that Station 10 there in Roanoke has released, as well as several other news outlets that the male died of his injuries. Sheriff Dunnigan further says that the crews were able to locate the male victim and the person responsible for the attack from a phone ping. So apparently what had occurred is the male victim sent out an emergency message of some type on his phone, and obviously before he succumbed to his injuries, and the sheriff's department apparently knew that it was some type of message, and whether it be voice or text, and knew that it was involving an attack, and they sent out their tactical team, and they were able to locate the victim and the person responsible very quickly. And the person responsible, the attacker, he surrendered very quickly to the full tactical team there. Also, news outlets are indicating that the attacker is now facing federal charges and is in FBI custody. And he has been identified by a spokesman for the Justice Department as James Jordan, also known as Sovereign. The ATC indicates that the Appalachian Trail is officially closed from Virginia 16, which is a partnership shelter, or near to that, in Sugar Grove, Virginia, near Mount Rogers National Recreation Area, and that's at approximately mile 34. And it's closed trail north to Virginia 42, which is at mile 558, and that's near Ceres Cross Close. And it's due to ongoing incidents under investigation by the U.S. Forest Service and local authorities, as well as the FBI. So basically what I've learned is that they are searching to make sure there's no other victims out there that are unknown. There's been no reports of a possibility of other victims, but at this time, the trail, as of last night, was closed. It was actually expected to open up early this morning. But when I checked the ATC, that had not been confirmed that it indeed did get open. News outlets are reporting further on James Jordan. He was accused of threatening other hikers on the trail and was sentenced in Unicoi County, Tennessee Sessions Court. He's 30, from Massachusetts, and in that sentencing he received probation and was ordered to pay fines following his hearing. According to the clerk's office, Jordan pleaded guilty to criminal impersonation, possession of Schedule 6 drug, and public intoxication. So those are all crimes that do not involve bodily harm. Recall an earlier update that I gave, that actually Porkchop gave, and I reported on from April 29th, that Porkchop indicated that he saw someone that was identical to the mugshot that had appeared in my of Sovereign in my video, and he saw them threatening people at the partnership shelter in Virginia. So that was on April 29th. Then on May 2nd, Odie from the Hiker Yearbook, he posted a video on his Facebook account that he helped Sovereign by buying him a meal, room for the night, and a bus ticket back home from Johnson City, Tennessee. So that means he was in Erwin, Tennessee, where he got sentenced, and then he made it to the partnership shelter in Virginia. Then he came back to Roan Mountain where Odie helped him, and then he got back to somewhere around in proximity to the partnership shelter where he actually committed the crime. So something's not adding up there. Hopefully we'll get more information from authorities later on what's going on there. I'm also not sure how he was prosecuted so fast. Most prosecutions for crimes that don't involve some type of bodily injury take weeks or months to prosecute. They normally don't get prosecuted as fast as this seemed to have occurred with Sovereign. So I don't know if that's misinformation or miscommunication or it actually occurred, but that just seems odd to me. It's also been reported that he had a $25,000 bond and that he bonded out. So I don't know that how somebody that couldn't afford a meal or bus ticket or couldn't get out of that situation, how he can afford a $25,000 bond. Certainly there's bondsmen out there, but one, bondsmen are less likely to help transient people, which he was. And even if they would help him, that would usually a bondsman charges, from what my understanding is, about 10% of your bond. So that would be $2,500 that Sovereign would have had to come up with. So how did he come up with that? And the news outlets are reporting that he was part of his hearing was that adjudication was that he had put on probation and he was fined. So how did he pay that fine? Most of the time fines are very small in court cases like that. A lot of times the cost of court expenses are more than a fine, but still, where did he come up with those expenses for bond and that? So I'm certainly not saying anybody paid it for him. Some things are just not adding up there, and I don't understand how he was out of jail to begin with. But as one hiker commented, or one person in the hiker community commented on Odie's Facebook page, that nobody's to blame here but Sovereign himself. This is not the fault of the judges that let him go or anything to do with the judicial system. Unfortunately, judges are hampered by pretty much a cookbook system of how much they can give out to somebody, how much punishment they give out to somebody based upon a system that they have to look it up, and it says if you did this amount of this was your crime, then this is the max you can do. My understanding is that Sovereign did not have a history of criminal prosecution, and so they would typically not sentence somebody to the maximum for that. I don't know what his sentencing would be here where I am, much less up in Tennessee or Virginia. So this is all laid at the feet of Sovereign. So we don't need to blame the justice system or anybody else. We certainly need to thank them for doing what they could, especially those people that went in there after him to get him. This is going to be a tough time for folks on the trail, particularly the thru hiker community. It's tough for me that has a passion for the trail and a passion for the hiker community. But it's going to be, that pales in comparison to people that have actually been out there and hiked with folks that are close to the situation that, obviously the people that were directly affected, the victims and their families. I mean, this is Mother's Day and somebody's son is not coming home. Somebody's daughter was assaulted. Family members are affected. The hiker community in general, friends and people that knew them are affected. And, as difficult as it is to say that Sovereign's family are affected as well as he is. So there's no winners in any of this, no matter what the adjudication of him. And I hate that for everybody in the hiker community. And now's the time that I hope everybody will come around the thru hiker community and the hiker community in general, but particularly since right now we're focusing on the thru hiker community. I hope you'll come around and go to their social media pages and give them just let them know that you're in their thoughts and prayers, and give them some support, continue to support them on their track. The best way to find them is I have a complete list on my Facebook page, Ramdino Roaming the Trails, and you can go there and find everybody that is through hiking, or the folks that we are able to track. Certainly not everybody, but the folks that we are tracking right now as we're supporting the through hiker community. And you can go there. There is a large section of the hiker bubble that is in that area, and here's a graph that shows kind of where the centralized focus is of the hiker bubble right now. And as you can see, that it is right there in that area where this occurred. So it's very likely that a lot of people knew people that were affected by this, and so they are really going to need our support at this time. So please go to their pages and give them the support that you can. On a personal note, I really struggled with this and struggled whether to put this video out. I certainly don't want people, and particularly those folks that troll the social media pages and try to create drama. I don't want them to use this as ammo to say that I'm trying to have any type of personal gain from it. That's certainly, if you know me at all or have watched me at all in my videos, I hope you haven't come away with that. And it's certainly not the case now, but a lot of folks have sent me a lot of messages and asking questions and everything, and I felt like this was the best way to get out the information to folks. And from what I've compiled it from probably 20 different news outlets, and they're all pretty much saying the same thing. Of course, with any news program, it's going to vary somewhat from place to place, and there's some embellishment and there's some misinformation, but that's just the way it is with the news media and stuff traveling around. But I did want to get the information out. I hope that you will see this as me doing what I can to build the hiker community, to support the through hiker community, and to honor those that are affected by this tragedy. So my heart and my prayers are out there, not only to the victims, but to everybody hiking the trail. And God bless you. God be with you. And hopefully we'll see you out there.